A very good afternoon, dear distinguished guests and everyone else present here today. Thank you for joining with us for the 14th SBS Students Research Conference 2021, organized by the SLIIT Business School. As a renowned private university in the island, we understand the importance of research and how it paves way to enhance knowledge and discover the unknown. We always try to foster a research culture and therefore take initiatives like this in organizing conferences. So the morning session was truly inspiring, listening to industry leaders and innovators in the country. And I'm sure this session will be equally insightful as well. Without further ado then, ladies and gentlemen, to start the event, I would like to cordially invite Ms. Udani Samarasinghe, the conference chair, to deliver the welcome address.
Thank you, Shalini. Thank you, Shalini. Good afternoon, everyone. So it is my greatest pleasure to do the welcome speech as the conference chair at 14th SLIIT Business School Student Research Conference. So before welcoming all of you, I must mention that we successfully concluded the morning session of SLIIT Business School Student Research Conference with over 600 participants under the theme of Tomorrow's Tycoons. So I must congratulate and say job very well done to the SLIIT business student community. With that, I must welcome our keynote speaker for the day, Dr. Au Wee Chan, who is a senior lecturer, Department of Business Management at Monash University, Malaysia. She will be delivering the keynote address on a very contemporary topic, that is how to balance your work and life during a pandemic. I warmly welcome you, madam, for the 14th SLIIT Business Student Research Conference. And also, I truly appreciate that you accepted our invitation to do the keynote address. I'm very positive that the gathering will gain very good insights about balancing work-life balance. So also, I should mention the welcoming the Professor Lakshman Ratnayaka, Chairman of SLIIT, Professor Lalit Gamage, Vice Chancellor and Managing Director of SLIIT to the afternoon session of SPSSRC. Also, we welcome Professor Nimal Rajapaksha, Deputy Vice Chancellor for the Academic Division of SLIIT, and Dr. Athula Pittikara-Arachchi, Deputy Vice Chancellor for the International Division to the event. I'm pleased to welcome all the deans of the faculties, heads of the departments, senior lecturers, assistant lecturers, and instructors of all the faculties of SLIIT. Furthermore, I would like to welcome our librarian, directors, senior managers, heads of the departments of the non-academic division of SLIIT. We have presentations, research presentations from different conference tracks, that is accounting, finance, applied economics, then e-business, information systems and business analytics, then human capital management and entrepreneurship. Then we have from logistic and supply chain management, and then we have from the marketing management as well. So in respective conference tracks, I would like to welcome the conference session chairs, that is Dr. KGM Nanayakara, who is a senior lecturer at University of Kelaniya, Dr. Kumudini Sriyalata, again, who is a senior lecturer at Department of Business Economics at University of Sri Jawardhanapura, and Dr. Nuwan Kurivita-Arachchi, who is a senior lecturer grade 2 from University of Sri Jawardhanapura, and Dr. Kaushalya Yatigammara, senior lecturer grade 1 from University of Kelaniya, and Professor Chamindanalaga Vikramasinghe, again from University of Kelaniya, and Dr. Ishanka Karunaratne, Department of Human Resource Management, who is a senior lecturer grade 1 from University of Kelaniya, and Dr. Thashika Rupasinghe, who is a general manager of data science and financial analytics of MAS Capital Private Limited, and our former dean, Professor Chandana Pereira, Department of Mechanical Engineering, Faculty of Engineering in SLIIT Malabe, and also Dr. Madhu Kaudunuvara, who is a senior lecturer from University of Colombo, and our very own Professor Renuka Herath from Department of Marketing Management at University of Kelaniya. Thank you very much, dear madams and sirs, for accepting the invitation. And also, I warmly welcome all of you to as the conference session chairs with the 14th SLIIT Business School Student Research Conference. Furthermore, I would like to welcome my colleagues from SLIIT Business School, including the greatest pillar of strength for all our work, Professor Samatha Telejagoda, Professor Ruwan Jayapilaka, Professor Nagalingam Nagendra Kumar, Dr. Nisha Jayasuriya, and all my other staff members to this event. Also, I would like to thank all of the students who have submitted their manuscripts to the SLIIT Business Research Conference and who are presenting today. I would like to congratulate them on your hard work and thank you very much for submitting, and also thank you, and I would like to welcome all of you for the event. And my dear students, welcome to the SLIIT Business School Student Research Conference. I hope you will get many insights from our keynote address, and as well as you will get positive and very good, remarkable comments for your hard work on your scholarly work. Thank you very much. Enjoy the day's proceedings. Thank you, Shalini. Over to you.
Thank you, Ms. Udani. So as she mentioned in her welcome speech, we're indeed truly honored to have with us today Dr. Wee Chan Au as the keynote speaker. So Dr. Wee Chan Au is a senior lecturer at the School of Business at Monash University in Malaysia. Her research interest lies in work, health and well-being, and especially challenges in attaining work-life balance in today's fast-paced economy with technological advancement. Focusing on Malaysia, she explores the extent to which organizational and HR practices impact work and well-being. Fundamentally, she's interested in people and the development of human capital, what motivates employees and entrepreneurs, and how they respond to personal or structural constraints, setbacks, and challenges, and to what extent do cultural background influence their choice and course of action. She has published her work in edited books and leading scholarly journals such as the Journal of Business Ethics, Journal of Social Entrepreneurship, and Personal Review. She also advocates staying well while working hard, which has motivated her to co-develop a well-being toolkit for social entrepreneurs. She has received funding from the British Council and Academy of Science Malaysia, and most recently, the Ministry of Higher Education to investigate the work, health, and well-being issues in Malaysia. She has also been actively involved in regional and national and industry-related projects commissioned by the Economic Planning Unit in Malaysia, the Malaysian Plastics and Machinery Association, Certified Practicing Accountants Australia, and the Asia Pacific Economic Corporation. Dr. Au holds a PhD in Human Resource Management from Monash University, and prior to her academic career, she worked as a project executive in a government agency under the Ministry of Primary Industries in Malaysia. Dr. Wee Chan Au, we're indeed grateful for being here today, and over to you, madam, to deliver the keynote speech.
Thank you, Shalini. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for inviting me to share with you about my research work. I understand that most of you are undergrads and master students, so I'll give you a little bit more details on the research method sections. Hopefully, you can gain better insights of how to conduct rigorous qualitative research in the future. And I try not to give you a lot of information on the theory and the literature review parts, just to make sure that the session is not that boring for you. Yeah. All right. So these projects, work-life balance while working from home during pandemic, is a collaborative project. It's not just my efforts. It's with two colleagues from the University of Southampton, UK, and also a colleague from the University of Houston, USA. And I would also like to bring your attention to the drawings on the slides throughout the presentations. These drawings were contributed by the children of the participating families. When we go through it, you may spend a little bit of time to appreciate these drawings and see if you manage to identify any interesting things about work-life balance or working from home from the eyes of the children. Yeah. Next, I will cover the agenda of sharing. I will first cover the why aspect in terms of what brought us together to conduct the study. I will then proceed to explain how we as a collaborative team made this multi-country study happen. Then I'll share with you what we have found in the study. And finally, I will cover some of the practical implications of the study. Since most of you are still students, you may try and see if my sharing today offers some insights to help you in refining your studying from home strategies instead of working from home. Yeah. If you have any questions, please feel free to contribute them at the Q&A sections. We will address them at the end of the sessions. Yeah. Okay, so now I'm gonna share with you about why did we conduct this research. Previous studies on work-life balance are mainly on the working adults who have clear boundary between work domains and non-work domains. With the COVID-19 pandemic, what we have known or what we have learned in the literature about work-life balance and working from home may no longer be applicable. So the COVID-19 pandemic has put us in a special work from home context, I would say. Number one, the work from home is not by choice. Because of the lockdown, many individuals had to turn into remote workers overnight and not necessarily willingly. And number two, with the presence of all other family members while working from home during lockdown, the work-life balance experience has changed tremendously from the previous work arrangement. And many individuals and households have to make adjustments accordingly, whether it is space-wise or time-wise, or even how to interact with each other during these periods. Hence, we feel that such unique context deserves more research attention to learn about the work-life balance of remote workers and their families. Okay. So what do we aim to achieve from these research projects? Most of the past studies focus on work-life balance and work from home is based on individual experience. In these studies, we would like to bring in the collective experience. We examine the experience of work-life balance and working from home when remote workers engage with work from home collectively as a family. We focus on dual owner couples with school-age children. We want to learn how a family maneuver with two full-time jobs, the study of the children, and the demanding household responsibilities during this challenging moment. Now, let me share with you on how did we implement the research project. Okay, we interview families in 5 countries. As you can see on the screen, we cover Malaysia, China, Iran, the US, and the UK. We interview at least 5 families in each country. This mix of countries allow us to combine perspectives from Western and non-Western contexts. You may be wondering, like, why these 5 countries? Actually, we built on the strengths of our research team who live in these countries or were from the countries originally and spoke the language. If, for example, I took care of the fieldwork involving Malaysians and Chinese families because I'm Malaysian and I can speak Chinese and I have some networks in China, whereas my collaborators, both of them are Iranians and they're currently based in UK and US respectively. So that's how we collected our data. Yeah. And we use our personal and professional network to reach out to families. And the selection criteria were straightforward. We asked them, were both of you working from home during these periods? And do you have school-going children who actually study from home during these periods? Yeah. Okay. So in total, next please. In total, 28 families participated in our study. In other words, our data sets include 56 in-depth interviews with parents. For the parents, we interviewed them separately. Each range from 60 to 90 minutes via Zoom. Other than the interviews with the adults, we actually asked the children to draw a picture that illustrates their family's work from home experience. We don't speak to the children directly, so the drawing is actually supervised by the parents, and we ask the parents to help us to record the voice of the children when they describe their drawings. And once this is done, the parents just send the recording file and the drawing to us. In total, we received 31 drawings from the children. So you may be wondering, like, why 28 families, but 31 drawings? For some families, when they have more than one kid, the parents do not want to be unfair to only ask one kid to participate. So they ask all of the kids to actually contribute one a drawing so that everyone participated. Yeah. Okay, so the cute drawings that you see throughout the presentations are examples of what the kids have shared with us. All interviews and the children's descriptions of the drawings were transcribed verbatim, and it gives us more than 1,200 pages of text that allow us to actually continue on with our content analysis. Yeah. Okay. Next, I'm gonna share the demographic informations about our participants. All of our participants were white-collar professionals who had a wide range of jobs, including teacher, university professor, manager, psychologist, engineer, accountants, lawyer, and even IT specialists. The average age of the parents was 42 years old, ranging from 34 to 54. And as you can see on the right-hand side, the bar chart, majority of the families had 2 children. 5 families had only one child, and 4 families had more than 2 children. Yeah, and the average age of the school-age children who participated and submitted the drawings was 11 years old, and ranging from 6 to 14 years old. Yeah. Okay. So now let's move on to findings. In terms of findings, we first identified that both demands and resources were generated within the family while parents and children are working and studying from home respectively. So in terms of demands, it comes in the form of work or school synchronicity requirements. Whether it is for work or study purposes, both parents and children required some private space and time so that they can focus, especially when it is a live sessions. Participants also shared about increased demands in terms of dependent member contingencies, not only the school going children. There may be babies around, the kids need to be taken care of, they need your attention. Parents have to engage with the children and support their learning from time to time. Work or school-related resource loss was also clearly features in our interview data. Space at home is no longer just for leisure or for family activities. All families allocate space within the household for work and study purpose. The participants do not access to colleagues or classmates for supports. Whether it is for academic or for emotion support, parents now become the main source of supports for their children. Yeah, and finally, as everyone's sticking around 24/7 at home, obviously the house chore in terms of cooking and cleanings are tremendous. Well, not everything is negative and demanding. The participated families also shared some positive aspects and resources gained while working from home during the pandemic. First is the resources saving in terms of time, money, and petrol. So they said that, I no longer commute, I no longer eat out as much during lunch break. I can save up for my family. Yeah. Number two, resource gains comes in the form of collective family spirits. Many families share with us that our family relationships become much closer. We have spent so much time together, and we now understand each other better compared to before. Yeah. And finally, resources come in the form of flexibility. Participants appreciates the flexibility they have while working from home. It allows them to adjust their schedule accordingly to best suit the needs of the work deadlines and also the children's demand. Now I will proceed to share with you the 5 resource demand fit strategies that we have identified from analyzing the data. First is the supportive strategy, where one or more family members make adjustments or went an extra mile to support another family members. They do not mind to share space for learning and working purposes. And this is especially the case when children just started learning online and need support from time to time to navigate the system. Next, we have the attentive strategy, where we can see that some families deliberately set aside time, use their existing resources to invest in activities that can help boost the energies and the well-being of the family. So for this family that you can see on the screen, it's a Malaysian family. Because of the nature of the mother's work, who had to spend long hours in front of her PC while working from home, what she did was during the evenings and weekends, both she and her husband would spend quality time with the children. So you can see from the picture, the boy actually highlighted the fun things that they have done together as a family, like they play pinata together, they bake custards together, they bake bread puddings and things like that as family activities. Okay, next we have the relational strategy. So for those families that have adopted these strategies, they shared that now I understand my wife's jobs better. I wasn't realized that it was that demanding previously. This is actually from a participant whose wife is actually a customer service officer, and he actually shared about how he now can actually give emotional support when the wife got scolded by the customer over the phone while she was working from home. So he explained that, previously he never imagined how her wife's works is like, being a customer service officer. Yeah. Also, some of them shared that the kids have a better pictures of their works and appreciate their job better compared to before. Yeah. And okay, so what about the unmet demands? Of course, there are additional demands generated during this period. So what do they do with it? So we observed that the families adopted the delegative strategies to manage the unmet demands. Since the parents are so occupied with work, they have not much time and headspace for the children's. What they did was they went ahead to sign up additional online learning classes, additional online music classes for their children. Some of them even make a fixed appointment with the grandparents to make them dial in and have story time with the kids on daily basis. So this is just to occupy as much time of the spare time of the children have, so that the parents can continue to concentrate at work. So this is how they delegate their childcare responsibilities out. Yeah. And finally, we have these compromising strategies that some of the families had adopted. We noticed that these are the families that have experienced more tensions and stress during this period. Compromising comes in when the family choose to disregard certain tasks. For example, some of them mentions that, just let the house be as messy, let's the YouTube babysit the kids because they don't have time to, sit together with them. So they would just hand the tablet to the kids and let them watch the YouTube throughout. Yeah, and we observed that in certain families, one of the parents had to sacrifice and be overburdened with most of the house chore while working from home, whereas their spouse can still focus and pay most attention to work. So for some other families, the family members choose to postpone their work tasks. So they mentioned that, I just focus on whatever that I have to meet the tight deadlines. Whatever can wait, I will just let it sit there and attend to it whenever I can, so that I can give more space and time for my families. I'm not sure we can do this or not. Shalini, can I just have a quick check? Can the participant access to chat now? If not, then I may have to skip this slide. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna assume that all our participants cannot type in the chat. So I'm gonna skip this slide, yeah? Okay, so
I think they should be able to.
Okay, thanks. So if there's a case, then maybe I just want to have a quick chat from all of y'all. Now you tell me, based on the strategies that we have identified from our participants, can you relate to any of these or not? Do you observe any strategies that your family have adopted when you guys work from home from 2020 to maybe at least mid of 2021? There's number 1, supportive strategies, number 2, attentive strategies, number 3, relational, number 4, delegative, and number 5, compromising strategies. So you can just indicate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and maybe top 2. Which of the 2 strategies that you observe in your family, and you can type it in the chat. Then we can see, like, how was it like in Sri Lanka? Okay, I only see one response. You can just type 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 instead of like the full words to make your life easier. If you only see relational strategy, then you just key in 3. Okay, 3. The first one is 1, 2, and 5. 1 and 3, 4. Supportive, 1, 3, relational, 1 and 4. One and 3, I think the most so far, the commonly identified is 1, 3, 3, and occasionally I see 5, 3, 4, and 5. Supportive, attentive, yes, 1 and 3. All right. Okay, so thank you very much for your sharing. I just want to stress to you that, almost all families use combinations of strategies, and they also change their strategies from time to time. And we are not here to, judge whether which strategies is better than the other one. It really depends on the family and the situations. Yeah. So now let's move on to Next slide. So who do we inform and what do our findings mean to them? First is the employers, especially those who previously thought that employees' family responsibilities and employees' work-life balance are not part of their responsibilities. It's now the time to revisit these thoughts with employees completing their work tasks at home. Employers should just recognize and accept that in order to have committed and productive workers, they can no longer turn blind eyes on their employees' family and non-work responsibilities. Like it or not, the previous policies and practices that cater for the conventional 9 to 5 office-based working patterns are becoming less relevant. It is time to revisit and update the policies and practices. And most importantly, this pandemic offers employers a great opportunity to listen to their employees and managers, hence co-creating policies and practices that would best meet both the organizational goals and also the employees' family demands. And employers may even consider offering training to their employees to help them manage the balance between work and non-work aspects. Most importantly, employers should not assume that all supervisors and managers have the right skills in managing and supervising virtual work. It could be emotionally demanding for the supervisors and managers to cope with the uncertainties, and if they are not given the right supports in supervising this virtual team, it will be very stressful. Yeah. So how to draw a balance between giving supports and not overly monitoring the subordinates becoming a key concern for many managers. Yeah. For the supervisors and managers, that's in the next slide. We observe an increasing expectations on leaders to be family supportive or work-life balance friendly. This is especially the case for Malaysians and Chinese and other collective societies. I believe it may be similar in Sri Lanka too. In a separate study, the Malaysian employees explicitly mentions that they expect the supervisors to learn about how many children I have, what's my spouse doing, how we arrange the childcare when both me and my spouse are occupied with work, which day of the week do I need to accompany my mom for Keynote therapies and the like. So this because they expect the supervisors to have these informations at the back of their heads when allocating tasks and arranging synchronized meetings. So overall, it seems that there is an additional but hidden responsibilities on the supervisors and managers. We do need to take note that these hidden responsibilities may not necessarily be explicitly recognized and rewarded by the employer. Yeah. And for individual employees, we may need to reassess our old working habits and learn new skills to manage the situations better. We may borrow some of the strategies and skills from the workplace and apply it at home, such as our time management skills, our communication skills, and even leadership. And most importantly, we should learn to manage the expectations of our family members, learn to set boundaries between work and personal life, and learn how to disconnect from work or study so that our work or study does not consume us and our family while we are working from home. Yeah. So overall, what we are trying to highlight here is that continuous conversations between employer, the managers, and employees are the key to move forwards so that the individuals can have good work-life balance while the opportunity to work from homes are increasing nowadays. Yeah. Okay, I think pretty much that's all the materials that I had prepared for this sharing. I would say we will now move on to the Q&A sessions. As I mentioned earlier, you have any questions, you may just type it in the Q&A box or even chat box, or you can raise hand. Thank you. I hope it is not too, I purposely remove all of the theory and the literature review so that it doesn't sound so technical for you guys. Any questions? If no questions, maybe Shalini, do you mind to share the slides on page, hold on, slide 6. Uh, 6. Yes, this one. Do you mind to blow up? Is it possible to blow up to the figure on the right? No? Okay, that's fine. Just to share with all of you all, actually it's interesting when we are trying to analyze the pictures or the drawings of the children's. Although we were not intended to actually triangulate the drawings or try to triangulate what's being shared by the children and what's being shared by the parents. But for quite a number of cases, and this is one of the very obvious one, is if you pay attention to the top right corner, the mom's doing the house chore, the face, the mouth is actually this way, upside down, showing that she's very frustrated and angry and upset with doing house chore. And it is also during the sharing from the mother. She shared with us how frustrated she was when she's the only one that doing all of the house chore, and the husband with the father actually can just happily focus on the work. So they never really mentions that the kids feel the frustrations, but actually the children actually did pick up the unhappiness of the mothers through the drawing. Yeah, so this is one thing that we identify as something interesting, that if we do not include the insights of the children, we may miss something in the data collections. Okay. All right, I think I don't see any questions.
Yes, Doctor, there's one question. I would like to ask, what are the takeaways from for the employees, for the employers, of course, from this research?
I think I shared it in the the last 3. The third slide from the last, that's about the employer. I'm not sure about Sri Lanka though. In Malaysia, I think one of the key takeaways for the Malaysians and Sri Lanka, before COVID-19 pandemic, working from home is a luxurious arrangement. Only when you are at a manager levels, or only when you manage to have a good deal made with your employer, they allow you to work from home or have flexible hour. This is to help you to better manage work-life balance. Whereas, because of the COVID-19, this working from home is no longer a special arrangement, and it's no longer something that helps individuals to manage work-life balance. Instead, many individuals realize that working from home makes the work-life balance even more messy compared to before, and they couldn't wait to go back to office. So employers have to start to realize that work-life balance of their employees is really part of their responsibility now. So you can't really say that they only come to work and whatever their non-work or family responsibilities, they attend to it after they go back to home. because now everything takes place at home. So all this become employer responsibility. They need to be more sensitive towards the family demands of their employees and see any adjustment that they should make to be a sensitive and also a caring employer. Yeah, that would what would be the main, or I would say, takeaway for the employer.
All right. There's a one question in the Q&A session in the Q&A chat box. That is, how did you analyze the drawings? One participant.
Good questions.
Yeah.
Good questions. We are now in the midst of doing it. Earlier parts of we have already produced 2 manuscripts from this study, but so far we have been only analyzing the words, the narratives. Like, for example, we don't analyze the drawing, but we analyze the narratives of the drawings. But in one of the conference sharing, the participants actually encourage us to say, actually, you have good drawings. Why don't you analyze the drawing? And to be very honest with you, all 3 of us haven't had any skill sets and experience in analyzing drawing. And we are now starting to read more about the methods in how to more rigorously analyzing the drawings. Yeah, so I can't really tell you how to do it now because we haven't really completed it. We are still doing it. Yeah, so that's why just now earlier I asked you all to pay attention to the drawings and see if any of you pick up interesting things, because we realize that when looking at one picture, same pictures, without listening to the kids' drawing, all 3 of us have got different interpretations on the same drawing. Some looks at the colors, some look at space. Where is the father? Where's the kids? You know, at some pictures, the fathers is disappeared. It's not on the drawing. But actually in the narratives, we can say that the father is actually working from home throughout. So we were wondering, like, where's the father? Why is he not in the pictures? So when we go back to the narratives, then we realize that the father actually has a home-based office. So he's at home, but in the eyes of the children, this father is not in the working from home. He's always in the office as if he's working outside of home. Yeah, so we don't know how to analyze the pictures yet. Yeah.
Yes, in this picture, I think the 4 members are dispersed, not together. Yeah, but the child has used colors. So he might, it's a boy, so he might taken this scenario as a positive thing, because since he has used many colors. So that's my interpretation. I don't know. I think what you say is correct. Like, we can have the different interpretations by the drawings and all.
But I think it's good. And you're actually very right that these kids have 4 individuals at the 4 corners, and it's very true that this family is a very individualistic family. All of them do things individually. Yeah. If Shalini, you don't mind, you can go to a pictures that has only three of them in one table. That's the one that without the father. Which slides is it? Slide 9. Yeah. This is the one that we were wondering, where's the father? But actually, he is at home, second upstairs in the home office. But in the kids' narratives of the drawings, right, everything is from mother. Mother play with me. Mother help me turn on my computer. Mother help me to answer the questions when I don't know anything. Those are things as if the dad is not part of their working from home collective experience. Yeah, and there is one more that is also very cute. Which one? There's one with the cats. Slide 11. Yeah. Can you see the little cat at the top left of the house? So for the kids, right, family, when we ask them, like, who is in your family, describe them, cat come first. We have cats, the name of the cats, and then the father, the mother, and then the brother. Yeah, and then in the narratives also talk a lot about, we spend time to take care of the kids, and then the kids play with us. And same thing in the parents' narratives. The parents share about how the cats as a pet helps them to occupy the time of the children a lot. So again, it's something that interesting that we captures from the drawings. Yeah. What challenges did you face when collecting data from kids? For our case, I think we learned from mistake. We realized that we should have taken one step further to get the ethics approval to collect data directly from the kids. Because in Monash, we have very strict ethics approval procedure. If you are getting a data from someone who cannot consent themselves, like kids under 18 years old, then there will be additional procedures. But at that time, we will be rushing. We thought COVID-19 will go away very quickly. We just want to quickly complete the project when it is still at the peak. So we just skip we go for the easy, I wouldn't say easier, we go for the normal procedures. But by doing that, we can't speak to the kids directly. So we actually collected the data through the parents. We don't speak to them directly. So it's really depends on the parents. Some parents are very good in asking questions. They'll ask the kids, why do you draw the house in blue? They'll say, why do you put mommy at the top left corner? But some parents, they don't ask any questions. They just let the kids describe. So when it happens like this, then the narrative is very small. So we can't really understand what's going on in the heads of the kids. So I would say this is one of the main challenge or main things that we have learned in this project. In the future, if we were to engage with drawing again or engage with children again, we may have to go through the comprehensive ethics approval so that we can engage with the children directly. Yeah. But it's fun though, this project. Yeah. Okay, I think we have 6 more minutes to 5. Any more questions? If not, then should we stop here?
There are no more questions, right?
Okay, so if no more questions, I just want to say that I hope this sharing make you feel more interested about doing research. It's not very boring all the time. There will be fun parts of doing research. You just need to enjoy the process and try to think of some, non-traditional way of collecting data so that hopefully it keeps you motivated and feel excited about your research project. Yeah. Okay, so that's all from me. So I know that you have the coming sessions where all of you are going to share your research projects. All the best for your presentations, and I hope you have fun in your research journey. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Au, for that very interesting and very insightful speech. And personally, I'm very excited to, and hopefully we'll get to hear the research findings of the drawings once you analyze what all the drawings say as well. So thank you once again for joining, accepting the invitation and joining all the way from Malaysia to share your knowledge with us. Right, so then with that, it's now time to move forward for the presentations. So I would like to invite every one of you to now log in to the respective session. So all the different technical sessions are there, and the respective Zoom details are in the slide as well as shared with you. Or you can scan the QR code and you can join the respective Zoom links to make your presentations. But before concluding, I would like to remind you all that we will once again join back at 5 o'clock sharp for the award ceremony, where we will announce the winners of each conference track, or the best papers. Yes, so we'll join back at 5 o'clock sharp. All the very best for your presentations, and Hope you have fun as well. Thank you.